Hi, it's Dennis here from Blue Sky with a tutorial about creating progress claims in Civil Pro. With Civil Pro, you can create progress claims using directly entered quantities, or you can use the quantities from your lot records. In this tutorial, we'll be creating a claim using the lot quantities. Log onto your project. In this example, I'm using the Civil Pro QA demo database. Links to the downloads are available in the video description. The username and password for this database is demo and demo. We go to the payment menu and then to the progress claims page. The demo DB already has claims for August and September. We're going to add a new claim for a new report period. So click on the new report period button. I enter the details for October 2016 and click create. You may have noticed that creating the new report period locks all of the previous report periods. You can toggle the locks on these report periods using the right-click context menu. Double-click the report period to see its claim. This report period doesn't have a claim yet, so we are prompted to create one. The defaults are fine, and we just need to add the previous report period, which is September. We're using lot quantities, so you can keep this option selected. Click the next button. Now we need to specify which quantities are to be included with our claim. I set the claim cutoff date and I limit my claim to include only those quantities on or before that date. When Civil Pro makes your claim, it does so based on a snapshot of the quantities at that particular point in time. Now I'm going to tell Civil Pro to include open, guaranteed and conform lots in that snapshot, and then I click the Create button. Once your claim is created, it will be opened in the Progress Claim Detail page. In this page, we have 4 fixed columns on the left. These represent the schedule, which is imported to make the progress claim. And on the right, we have a series of scrollable columns. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. So the scrollable columns are broken up into bands. We have the previously certified band, the certification band, the to date band, the this claim band, and if you open your column chooser by right-clicking on your column headings, you'll see that there are other bands which are hidden by default. Forecast at completion, to complete and admin. We'll deal with those later. You'll notice that the quantity to date column already has a value. This was calculated from the lot quantities when the claim was created. To see the individual quantities that comprise the quantity to date, hover over the auto hide panel on the right. The quantity used by Civil Pro is the effective lot quantity. In most cases, this is simply the lot quantity multiplied by the lot % complete. Keep in mind that open lots default to 0% complete and guaranteed or conform lots are always 100% complete. The lot % complete is set in the lot register. In the case that you mark a lot quantity non-claimable or set a reduced payment factor, this will also be included in effective quantity calculations. Now I'm going to have a look at item 9005. So to find 9005, I just do a quick search, Control F, 9005, and it takes me to that item. So if I have a look at this 9005 item over here in the lot quantity, this has a quantity of 1 at 50%, giving an effective quantity of 0.5. Now I know that this quantity is a little bit out and I've completed 80% of this. So if I want to go and update this, I need to go back to the lot register. I need to go to that lot, which is DMG NRL 003, and I'm going to change to the open lots view so I can change this quantity % complete to 80%. When I return to the progress claim, if we go to this item, it's still 0.5. That's because Civil Pro takes a snapshot, and for me to update, I need to renew that snapshot. So I right-click, Claim Operations, Renew Quantity Snapshot, all the same, no problems, and Create. Tells me there's an existing snapshot, I want to overwrite it. Now my quantity is 0.8. if I have a look, I have 1 by 80%. So you might notice something here about our claim, down the bottom where we've got these variations. These are all out of order. Also, some of them are different colours. I'll leave the colours for now, and let's just talk about the order. If I want to change the order of these, I need to update my schedule. So I go to my financial setup, to my schedule items, and I go down the bottom to where my variations are. I need to reorder them, so that means that I need to unlock the schedule. And then I can just drag and drop them to where they need to be. And that's done. When Civil Pro creates a progress claim, it takes a copy of the schedule. So when we go back to the claim, we can see that it remains unchanged. So what we need to do is use the claim operation to rebuild the claim. So if I rebuild my claim, it keeps this information. It asks if I want to overwrite the existing quantities. In this case, I'm generating my claim from Lot Quantities, so it's safe to overwrite them. It tells me there's an existing snapshot. I want to overwrite it. And here you can see that this has been updated to reflect what's in the latest copy of the schedule. In Civil Pro, schedule items are either pay items or overhead items. Items are pay items by default with a sell rate and a DJC or budget rate. They are items for which you lodge a progress claim and are paid. Overhead items aren't claimed and so won't have a sell rate. These are generally used just to track budgets. Overhead items are coloured green. Similarly, each schedule item is either fixed rate or variable rate. The default is fixed rate, meaning the pay rate is fixed throughout the contract, which is how pay items work most of the time. The rate for a variable rate item changes between claims. This is usually used for variations. Variable rate items are coloured blue and are treated differently in the claim because both the rate and the quantity can be edited, unlike a normal pay item where only the quantity can be edited. Your normal item, which is a pay item that is fixed rate, has a white background. Items that are both variable rate and overhead are yellow. You can see that my variations 1, 2 and 5 have incorrectly been identified as overheads. I can change them back to pay items by using the right-click context menu function to mark the items as pay items. As I do this, I'm prompted to also change the item type in the original schedule so that this is corrected for future claims. You can see that variation number 2 is coloured blue. This means that it's a variable rate item. If I wanted to change it to be a fixed rate item, I would simply mark the item using the context menu. But I want this to be a variable rate, so I'm going to change it back. You can see that with the variable rate item, once I enable editing, I can also change the rate, unlike with normal fixed rate items where, as the name suggests, the rate is fixed. I'll just change this back to its original value. Now that the claim is complete, I can print it by selecting the standard progress claim report. If we need to report the lot quantities that actually comprise each schedule item, we can run a lot quantity report either with or without value. You can see that this report prints each schedule item and the lots that comprise the quantities underneath, complete with their status. There's a lot of detail here and you don't necessarily want to see that every month, so we can roll up old data by entering a split date. With a split date, any lot quantities for which the lot or the quantity were last edited before that date are rolled up into a single item. So here you can see previously conformed is now a single line for all the older quantities. Finally, I'm going to update my estimates of the quantities at completion. Quantities at completion can be used to generate a claim report with additional information for the client, notably the expected final value of the project and the estimated value to completion. It also provides two important values for the monthly reporting and forecasting: the revenue at completion and the earned budget at completion. To update the quantity at completion, you can show the necessary columns and band using the column chooser, but it's much easier to use the pre-baked forecast view. Once the quantity at completion column is visible, it can be updated as required. You will see that the quantity at completion has been set already. When the claim is created, the quantity at completion is automatically set to the quantity at completion from the previous claim. When you have finished updating the quantities at completion, you can print the Progress Claim at Completion report, which adds the quantity and total both at completion and to complete. Thank you for watching our Progress Claim tutorial. You now have all the information you need to create a Progress Claim in Civil Pro from Lot Quantities. You can catch our other Progress Claim videos which detail additional functions such as the certification process, copying from previous claims, and establishing an overclaim.